Fantastic!
Welcome to Fantastic, where we look over unofficial projects that put the fan back in Fantastic. Ultimate Mortal Kombat Deception is a mod for the PS2 version of Deception made by Ermacher of Hook mod fame. Essentially, the mod ports over assets from other 3D era entries and makes various stages available more readily. It's been incredibly helpful for getting specific clips for certain videos, and I want to sing its praises for a bit and maybe garner some interest in the upcoming version 8. The mod isn't as simple to set up as Hook mod is, unfortunately, but it's not exactly difficult if you follow the video guide links below. Sadly, there is no magic wand solution here, so you need to put in some effort. But there is a magic wand solution for the 3,500 other games supported by Wand, the sponsor of today's video. Admit it, I get you every time with these. Wand provides gameplay assists for a wide range of games. Just press Alt and W to bring up the in-game overlay and select your options. You have the basics like infinite health and ammo, and then more specific options, like shutting off the guard AI in the stealth games so you can style on them unimpeded, or keeping Mr. X down in Resident Evil 2 so you can actually get stuff done without being harassed, or boosting companion approval in Baldur's Gate 3 to make sure you can actually get over Karlach's stupid cutoff points and romance her without your friend's stupid Dark Urge plot hogging all the spotlight every long rest, and oh, I'll never get over it, you selfish mother. Wand will automatically find your games and you can launch them from the Wand app with easy to activate and deactivate mods. You can also find spoiler-free guides and interactive maps in the in-game overlay to help you find collectibles or just where to go when things get a bit obtuse. And of course, this is only for single-player experiences, which you're free to, well, experience however you damn well please. Although Wand is free, from the 24th to the 1st, they're offering 25% off of their annual Pro subscription with the promo code WANDBF25. It's the lowest price all year, and the best time to unlock the full Wand experience. So, if you're interested, download Wand at wand.gg/thefourthsnake, which you can also find in the description, and go unlock the full magic of gaming. Thank you Wand for sponsoring the video, and now, let's get back to UMKD. Make no mistake, this mod isn't just an easy asset dump. Various updates fixed issues the way one would expect from an official patch. For instance, version 4.1 dealt with an infinite and fixed several unblockable moves and hit connection issues. The amount of care and attention that goes into this thing reminds me of Project M more than anything. Let me show you what I mean by discussing the stages. The mod allows all the conquest stages, both training and normal combat, to be used outside of that mode. It also takes unused files for the acid bath from the review version of Deception and gets that running. I wonder if it was just leftover data or if they actually plan to bring it back, maybe with a death trap. And the most interesting new stage is the unused Catacomb stage, based on the tomb where Sub-Zero acquired his ancestral armor and laid Frost to rest. Ermacher fixed it up and got it running here, which is such a cool, no pun intended for once, addition to the game, and almost justifies the effort to get the mod running all by itself. Next, let's discuss the characters. A few extra costumes are accessible by pressing square when highlighting certain characters. We have Monster for Scorpion, Deadly Alliance Sub-Zero, Deadly Alliance Raiden, and UMK3 Ermac via a palette swap of Scorpion's alternate. Hopefully Yongshu Jinko, Ghost Liu Kang, and a few others can make it in for the final version. Pressing circle also allows you to select the alternate palette for a costume instead of the default. And now for the more substantial addition, the new characters. Simply click L3 and you switch to an alternate select screen. And no, I'm not going to judge or fix the layout of this one like I did for the official select screens recently, because it's just a place to make the additional cast selectable. It's not a big deal. We have the unplayable Onaga fully playable, we have Shao Kahn and Goro from the GameCube version, as well as Frost, Jax, Kitana and Blaze from the PSP port. Blaze even got an original alternate costume based on MK2. We have the Conquest NPC fighters restored to their full Deadly Alliance functionality, Quan Chi, Shang Tsung, Sonya Blade, Johnny Cage, Kung Lao, all standard additions you'd expect for a fan-made expansion for Deception, but they're not ported one-to-one. They actually have additional moves since Deadly Alliance's special move repertoires were uncharacteristically small. But that doesn't mean all the specials from Armageddon came over, essentially making these fighters feel like they were versions created in between those versions. I actually managed to get a few questions answered by Ermacher about certain choices with the mod. This point is where the original plan went up to, getting the Unchained characters in base Deception and fixing up the Conquest only fighters whose movesets were scaled down on the way over to the original game. Characters beyond this point were mostly chosen based on who was doable, and even they needed workarounds for certain things to work, like teleports that go down not being a thing until Armageddon, or Cyrax's bombs being tweaked Borai Cho puke. Natara and Cyrax don't have a ton of note to say about them otherwise, they're mostly just updated a bit from the prior game. But then, things get crazy. Armageddon only had one style and one weapon each for its fighters, while the two prior games had two styles per fighter. This means some additional work was needed to get the characters only present in Armageddon to fit in Deception systems. And even without that, they would still feel rather different due to the big differences in how Deception and Armageddon play. And yes, there are style branch combos created for these previously unconnected styles, which helps the newcomers to feel like they're an official part of this game. Let's discuss some of the characters in more specific detail. Ermacher explained that some of the styles being different from official releases came down to what looks good with certain animations, with big sleeves getting messed up being a notable example. Draman is based on his Armageddon incarnation, with Hungar in place of Oni and Netherrealm. His second style is Wrestling, which was used in Armageddon by Meat, whose model was derived from Draman's, so it all adds up. Rather than Ziran Men, Rain borrows Tanya's other Deception style, Yue Chuan. This is joined by Raiden's Nan Chuan. I think it works because both styles have similar names and reflects Rain's modern origins by sharing styles with an Edenian and a god. I asked Ermacher about the different styles chosen, who said that picking the styles is part of the fun, and that if you want copy-pasted characters from Armageddon, you can just play Armageddon, which is fair. Sector is adapted more from his Tournament Edition self than Armageddon, right down to his default costume being a palette swap of Cyrax, dropping his Armageddon alternate to make room. He retains Cyrax's ninjutsu from TR, but uses Shuai Chao as his second style, which is otherwise exclusive to Deadly Alliance Su Hao. I think it fits better than Sonya's Kenpo style. And this is where we start to see these characters being used to a certain extent as vehicles to preserve styles that were dropped after the first game, or just taking styles not featured in Deception to make the characters feel less like clones. Serena already had a trio of styles to build on, but there's a lot of overlap since those styles were already borrowed from other fighters back then. She keeps Yuan Yang, which is shared with Frost, however Taekwondo is used by both Nightwolf and Sonya, so she instead has Baji Chuan, which Li Mei had dropped in Deception. She's also in her Tournament Edition costume by default instead of Mythologies like she was in Armageddon. Reiko here is based on his MK4 self, rather than the Shao Kahn fanboy he became in Armageddon. His costumes are swapped, and his weapon is the spiked club he used in MK4 and Kai used in Armageddon. Rather than Ying Yuang, which is still used by Melina, Reiko is given Melina's other style, Mian Chuan, and Baraka's Silat. I'm not sure what the connection here is. And the most fun addition is Tremor. Yes, Tremor from Special Forces and MKX. This version uses a recolor of Scorpion's classic costume and has some neat style choices. He has Wrestling, otherwise used by Su Hao and Meat in the other two games, but absent from Deception. It's a fitting style for a burly grappler. And he also uses Sun Bin, which he shares with fellow Black Dragon Cabal, creating a connection between the two. His weapon is the brand new Rock Arms, whose stance comes from Baraka and uses moves from Motaro and the Goju Ryu style. Tremor really shows off how cool the mod can be, but he does appear to be the only such character planned. Version 8 is set to include Shinnok, with Long Fist and Naginata as his other styles, and standalone Noob and Smoke. Here's hoping Noob pulls from his Tournament Edition self, and that Smoke's new style or weapon ties to his origins with the Lin Kuei. Also, all of these characters are fully playable in chess combat, except Onaga, which even the AI can make use of. Fantastic stuff. The process of setting the mod up is all laid out in a simple video tutorial, and it's all linked in the description here. You're essentially creating a new version of the Deception ISO file to read from. There is a version that can run on an actual PS2 if you can get that set up, albeit with certain modes disabled to make room for the new stuff. Really though, you're going to want to use PCSX2 for it. Is that emulation? Yes. But until NetherRealm and WB stop being cowards and give us Legacy Collection 2 with all the good games, they're not exactly losing money from this, so it's an actual victimless crime. Ultimate NK Deception is a really interesting mod that pairs well with Ermacher's own Hook mod to make what was already the best game in the franchise even better by turning it into a completed version with all the assets from every official release of Deception, and then went nuts and added a whole lot more. Definitely go give it a try if you're a fan of good MK products, which unfortunately are in short supply these days. If you liked this video, why not subscribe and support me on Patreon like these fine people here? If not, then make sure to share it with your enemies so they can suffer along with you. Today's recommended channel is, of course, Ermacher's, which features videos about this mod, some other mods made for Armageddon, and a few fun videos based on other MK games like changing the background for the M1K character selection screen.